crane game challenge where I and a bunch of my friends go to a crane game and see what kind of prizes we can win and stuff like that. Like, are you gonna watch
Yeah.
Andy Japandi's old 2K Andy Japandi, or are you gonna watch,
I
Sea
watch.
Dog VA and Chris Broad
I
being
watch at
all
least
like
10
British and
episodes.
miserable getting stuff,
I watch.
right? Thank you.
It's
Appreciate it.
not bad. Yeah, the crane game, right? So that's a typical topic or popular topic. Actually, I'm curious. What video are you most proud of for from your library?
I would say there's a couple that I personally like, even though they may not have like a whole bunch of views or whatever. That's always the case, isn't it? It's always the darlings that you love that don't get a lot of views. But there was one that I did fairly recently for a class, actually, and it was showcasing the move because our
What's the
school had
title?
moved. That's called Hitokoi, One
So cool.
Voice.
Cool.
So the concept behind it was that we were moving from Shinjuku Sanchome, which is a very loud, bright sort of district in Tokyo, to a much more quieter, more introspective location in Ryogoku, which is on like the eastern side of Tokyo, very far away from all the. So I wanted to slowly over the video like, build up the sound till it reached like a
Mhm.
point, and then when we moved to Ryogoku, just silence.
Sounds artistic.
Very artistic, and I got everybody in the class to help me out and everything,
Oh,
and it was supposed to have voiceover, but we couldn't quite agree on a script in time, so it's just kind of a nice little, got like some background music and stuff, and I think it turned out pretty well in the end. But another video that I did that actually a lot of my audience liked as well
so you're popular.
was the,
Cool.
which one?
Oh, sorry, a popular video. Tell us the name so I can search it after. I'll put a link.
Oh, sure. It's pretty easy to find. It's a day in the life of a study abroad student in, it's either
Nice.
in Tokyo or Japan, something like that. And it's me just kind of like drinking a Coke out of a glass
Nice.
with Japanese cherry blossoms and stuff in the background. One of the things that I wanted to do with this video was, I wanted to get like my total Chris Broad out there and just like capture every angle, every move, and just be as deliberate as humanly possible without getting kicked out of stores with all of my camera work. And a lot of it I actually filmed with my phone right here. This is
No
just
way.
a Samsung S10e, so it's several generations old. But even still, if you like hold it in a certain position, like where I was staying at the time was basically like a capsule hotel. So I had like a clip and I just like pointed it straight down. So
Hmm.
you get this nice overhead shot of me like waking up, turning on the light and being like pulling off my eye mask from
Now I
sleeping.
understand. Yeah.
Be like, this is the day in the life of a study abroad student in Tokyo. And then I'm, putting on my clothes and then going downstairs to get my shoes and going out getting some lunch and just doing my thing. There's not really a whole lot of dialogue except for at the beginning and end, and it's pretty interesting.
Dang, and you mentioned all these techniques like, these overhead shots. It
Yep.
makes me think of editing, and that's where I'm leading to. Like, all right, how did you become an editor?
Making YouTube videos. That's initially how it started. So,
Wow.
but how I actually started getting paid to be an
Yeah.
editor is a bit more
That's my question.
of a
Yeah.
different story. So, during my time before I came to Yokosuka, I was a big, community member of the JVlog community. So a lot of people making videos in Japan, stuff like that. I would like watch a lot of videos, leave comments, things like that. And then when I actually arrived in Japan, a lot of people already knew who the heck I was. So
Wow.
we'd get to these like YouTuber get-togethers and stuff like, Andy, oh my God, what's up,
It's
bro?
you.
Andy Japandi, it's you. I'm like, oh, hey,
Hey,
I
oh,
love your videos.
I'm
You're
Andy.
showing, I don't have to track you down. Y'all are tracking me down. I was like, what's up, bro? So, just through getting together and hanging out with these people, when I eventually got out of the Navy and went back to America, I got in contact with some people.
Oh,
And
we have a time warning of 10 minutes. But keep going.
okay, you want to cut it now and then?
No, it's cool. Keep going. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll finish this a little bit and then we'll cut it. So, but anyway, so when I went back to America, I was part of a line group with some friends,
Mm.
and one of my friends, his hard drive had crashed So he wasn't able to make videos, and he was on a daily upload streak, which
It was
was
daily upload.
style at the time because that's how you grow on YouTube. Just upload a bunch of stuff every day. And he was like, "Oh man, I can't do it because my computer's dead." And I just messaged him, just being a friend, like, "Hey, what if I edit a couple of your videos just until you get your computer situation fixed?" And he was like, "Yeah, why not?" Because he
Wow.
had like the raw files and stuff. It's
Yeah.
just, he didn't have the computer to put it together. So I did that for him, just out of the goodness of my heart, I guess. And by the time he got his computer fixed, he was like, "Why don't you just be my editor? You'd be like Barry from Game
Wow.
Grumps." And I was like, I never really thought about that because to be honest, the whole editing thing for me just completely came by accident.
Yo,
It was
that's
just me helping a
cool.
friend out, and it just kind of grew. He said he wasn't going to pay me a whole lot at first, but over time, as the
Yeah.
channel grew, he'd up my pay and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
he also referred me to a lot of other YouTubers,
Wow.
including Brian from Ramen Adventures.
Ron
Did a
Adventure.
lot,
Nice.
yeah, I did a lot of great work with him back
Yeah.
in the day, as
And
well
what else?
as my main client right now is Eric Surf Six.
Eric Show 6.
That's probably the one you
Name
know
drop.
me from the most, actually,
I've
because
heard.
I put together so many of his videos. In fact, I have one I got to put together later tonight.
Check out
So
Andy's work on their channel too.
yeah, yeah, I got a whole
Or just reach out
portfolio
to Andy on
playlist on my
Instagram.
channel.
Yeah. How
On
can
my
people
Instagram,
contact you if they want your help?
if they want my help, there is a business email on my YouTube channel that you can reach out to. There's also my Instagram.com/AndyJapandy and the number one.
And I'll put your YouTube channel link in the description, and yeah, people can find your channel there. Andy Japandi.
Yep, Andy Japandy with the number one. Because
Nice.
apparently somebody else took just straight up Andy Japandy.
And one.
Yep, that's for Instagram. That's also for YouTube as well.
Okay.
Because I migrated channels. So my old channel had just Andy Japandy, and I'm trying to get that changed, but Google's being a little squicky about things. So for now, it's just Andy Japandy and the number one.
Cool. Nice. And of course, we are limited on time, but I'm curious. Like, do you have any tips? Like, so I want to go into helpful things for our viewers, but like one tips for like editing. I love some help. So do you have one tip for editing in terms of like what tools to use or how to edit?
Yeah, absolutely. So, especially if you're on YouTube doing content creation type stuff, the main thing you got to think about is keeping an audience's interest. So,
How do you do that?
then in order to do that, you need to know your audience. So, there are some audiences that do like the ADD Mr. Beast too mad style of like really quick cuts and just a lot of meme noises and flashy lights. Shake the keys, as I like to call it. Keep the kids interested. Then there's others where you can be a little more chill, a little more vibey, and just kind of let stuff breathe a little bit. So I would say one of the big tricks of editing, if you can help it, is to be a camera operator. So knowing how to operate your camera is essential to editing, which sounds a little what counterproductive, right? So what I mean,
Yeah.
right. So what I mean by that is you need to shoot for the edit because unless you have an editor, you're going to be the one that has to put this stuff together at the end of the day. And even if you do have an editor, it's going to take them a little longer if you shoot inefficiently. So some quick tips, I guess, with that would be to, if you're shooting B-roll, give it just a couple extra seconds before you turn it off. Just kind of hold. If you're doing like pans or something like that of like a restaurant or street or something like that, just, a little pan and then just hold it for like 2 to 3 seconds, then cut it off. Just so that way it's easier for the editor to kind of find a nice cutoff point rather than, and just doing like quick shaky camera movements and stuff like that. Just nice, slow, deliberate sort of things because they can speed that up if need be, or just cut out certain sections as well. And also just making sure framing is good as well. Lighting, that's another one that I'm learning a lot about, especially going back through some of my older videos. where I have no lights. And with this video, I have my little ring light off in the corner shining on me. So that definitely helps as well.
Yep.
So in doing better housekeeping as far as shooting goes, it'll make things a lot easier in the editing bay. And also just having a format and just a general flow of things makes things a lot faster. For instance, when I'm putting together Eric's Thrift 6 videos, the general format is intro, music montage, and then we're getting right into it with the food or beer, usually either like a beer, wine, some kind of drink, or table charge, something like that, and we're just getting right into it. Wow. So just having set formats will help really speed up the editing process.
It is a show. Yeah. Cool. Thank you for your tips. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
So yeah, I'm gonna just go to this question that's in my mind that may be a tip, end up being a tip. But for your experience in Japan, can you tell us about like a challenge you've had, and then how maybe not to do it that way, or how you overcame the challenge?
Well, the big challenge would be the big C, of course. Well, I don't want to mention it because I don't know if it'll get demonetized, so we'll just refer to it as the big C. And with that, it locked down a lot of places. Yeah, the what now?
Sorry, C mean copyright?
No, coronavirus.
Oh, sorry, thank you.
You can cut that part out. I'm just trying to play it safe so you're not like demonetized or nothing.
Oh yeah, but Corona, that makes sense.
So in dealing with the big C, it locked down a lot of socialization. And I'm an introvert by nature, so like awesome at first. I'm like, I don't have to go see people. I don't have to get on the train. I can just sit in my room and still be productive. Awesome. But as the months and years went by, even I was like, damn, I really miss human contact, man. This is driving me up a wall, right? So one of the things that really helped me out was talking with people online through like Facebook or whatever, just keeping in contact with family and friends to help keep me grounded. Hanging out with friends when I could, once I got the 2-tap later, and just making the most of those sorts of situations, because it's just is what it is, and just got to get yourself out there, basically.
Actually, do you mind? I'm gonna just add this in. Do you miss the karaoke's at all? I'll go karaoke.
Oh, I miss it a lot. I went to my first one in 2 years since I've been back. It was probably more like 6 or 7 since I was last in karaoke. But I just went out there and killed it, because like when people ask, hey, let's go karaoke, stuff like that, you're thinking like, oh, it's gonna be lame. It's just gonna be people like singing in a very monotone voice, and I'm just here for the drinks. Yeah. And it's like, no, you gotta go all out with that stuff. I don't, people are like, oh, I'm so embarrassed to sing. What's that? What's my song? Well, I busted out a pretty good rendition of Michael Bolton's "How Am I Supposed to Live Without You."
Whoa!
Like I say, go big or go home, baby.
Yeah, I'm ready to hear it. I'm ready to hear it.
Well, it'll get copyrighted, and my neighbors will pound on the door.
Yes, Tokyo's still there, but I'll message you. Let's go karaoke.
Right.
Yeah. But thank you. Yeah.
I mean, if Johnny's picks me up,
Yeah, but Johnny's Japanese entertainment group. Like, yeah, let's be a Johnny's group.
Right.
Indian pop.
We'll call ourselves NDY.
So let me add a standard question in there. What do you like about Japanese culture? What have you enjoyed?
The things I've really enjoyed are just being able to make friends from vastly different cultures, especially being in the Tokyo area. You're surrounded by a very international community. So it's not just Japanese people. It's people from all kinds of different countries and cultures and things like that. So while it is interesting to learn the Japanese culture and meet with Japanese people, of course, something that's not really talked about a whole lot is just the vast amount of other cultures that are in Japan, and just getting to learn a lot of that stuff, and just to learn how other cultures kind of affected different things in Japan as well.